If I'd kept a boat in a marina, it would have cost me more just to keep the boat there than it's cost to pay for the boat on a monthly basis through a bank loan and all the maintenance costs and little bits I've had to buy. So I'm going to go through what I've spent, and hopefully that'll give you some idea. If, like me, you're in retirement, you're getting on a bit in years, you might sort of be able to see how much it costs and whether you can afford to go sailing. So the biggest cost has been paying the bank loan. I took it out over 3 years and I've repaid 1,436. This is for the first year. I'll go through 3 years of costs. So this is for 2021, which is the year I bought it in April. So 1,436, 12 monthly repayments of the loan. The swinging mooring was 625 for a year. The club membership was 180 annually. I spent £692 on maintenance, basically just buying bits to improve the boat. The first thing I had to do was put new batteries in. There's one leisure battery and one starter battery for the engine. The leisure battery was it was dead, completely dead. There was no voltage in it whatsoever. And the starter battery was several years old, and I couldn't run sort of the lighting and other things when I'm on the boat, because obviously you're not connected to shore power. So I had to buy 2 new batteries straight away. And I wasn't expecting to have to do that, because I would have thought that a survey would have pointed out that the batteries need replacing. It's not difficult just to put a multimeter across 2 battery poles and look at the voltage that's in the battery, but that wasn't reported on the survey. Neither was the fact that there was no water tank in the boat. The water pump and pressure tank was still there, but the actual tank had been removed. So I put in a new flexible water tank, which was not cheap. More about that later, because I've just had to buy another one, because the one that I put in only lasted 1 or 2 seasons before it sprung a leak underneath, and well, that's another story. I'll get back to that. So I insured the boat, third party only, and 12 monthly payments came to £191. I spent £151 on food, drink, various other things just to stock the boat up for when I stay on it. And I spent £311 on diesel fuel. Now, most of that went on fueling the car to get to Kent. I live 220 miles further up the M6, so there's a bit of a cost in fuel to get to the boat, but it still works out cheaper than putting the boat in a marina nearer to where I live. Plus I quite enjoy it down there. The weather's better, it's a little bit warmer in the south of England than it is in the north. So £52 on clothing. That was just a bit of wet weather gear, which I bought on eBay. Turns out that the bib leaks on the seat of the pants and on the knees, so buying cheap isn't always the best thing. Sometimes it's a good idea to buy something new, and I think wet weather gear is probably a good one. I had to buy life jackets, and pay a little bit on travel tolls for crossing the Queen Elizabeth Bridge at Dartford Crossing. So, when I bought the boat, I also needed a dinghy and an outboard, obviously to get across to it on its swinging mooring. So there was initial outlay there of £450. Bought a tender with a 4 horsepower outboard, second hand off eBay again. So that's kind of what I've spent in 2021, first year of ownership. And so the total came to £3,643.42, which, depending on marina fees, you would pay that in the UK for a year's mooring against a pontoon berth. And it's the only way I could have afforded to do this. I'm on a limited income from a government state pension and a private pension. And so costs were really important, as they are to everybody. Could I afford it? I was going to go sailing no matter what it cost, I think. And I think I probably spent a little bit more than I thought I had in the first year. But I had such a good time, I've enjoyed myself so much. I've spent, in that first year, I probably spent about 6 full weeks on the boat. So it was kind of like having a holiday home for me. And it would cost a lot more, I think, to have six weeks of renting a caravan or taking 6 individual package holidays. That would have come to an awful lot more than that. Plus I get to learn how to sail. 2022 expenditure, second year of ownership. I'll just go straight through it all. Insurance, to insure the boat, third party, £183.72p. Maintenance, £784.40. That's a little bit more than the first year of ownership. I think you're supposed to allow something like 10% of the cost of your boat. So not doing too bad with maintenance costs. That would have included anti-fouling, putting the boat up on the scrubbing dock early in the season, re-anti-fouling, scraping off all the barnacles and weeds and things. That needs to be done every year, especially in the Medway, which has a lot of mud coming down the river, and that seems to cling to the underwater part of the hull, and you get a lot of growth on it. So nothing in terms of hauling out for the winter. I left the boat afloat on the mooring over the winter. I had some costs to repair the mainsail, wasn't much. There was a storm, I think, in March, and the mainsail became detached and was flailing around and caused a little bit of damage. Anyway, that got sorted out. Fuel, £362.44. Most of that is for travelling to and from the marina, which is a long way. Some fuel for the boat engine. In 2022 started to do a little bit of sailing and didn't actually get the sails up in the first year of ownership. I was just a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. I bought a boat, really no idea how to sail, and yeah, well, so I pretty much stayed at anchor, on the mooring, I should say, tethered to the mooring in the first year, and just enjoyed looking out, watching boats coming up and down the river, doing initial maintenance to the boat, getting it to a place where, you know, the standard was good enough to spend some time on it. So That was fuel. I think we spent a little bit on going to Burnham on Crouch, which was 42 nautical miles. That was the first sort of trip out of the estuary and into the North Sea. Travel and tolls, that includes paying the toll fees for the dark crossing on the M25 around London, and also there's a toll road that joins the M42 up to the M6. Clothing, didn't spend anything. Club membership, 190. Loan repayments for the initial £4,000 that I borrowed to buy the boat, same as last year, £1,436.52. Food, £199.55p. That's just the food that I spend when I'm on the boat. The dinghy, I did spend some money on the dinghy. I had to put some wheels on it. It's a solid hull, fiberglass hull, and it's pretty heavy, so it's much easier just to drop the wheels and be able to pull it out like that. And then I had a few leaks as well. I had to take the transom off and rebond it back to the inflatable tubes, so there's quite a bit of cost there with the glue. And then Peel Ports, which is the port authority for the Thames and Medway estuaries. I didn't pay that the first year, £87.69. I didn't pay it because I didn't know it existed. It was the club that contacted me to let me know that you had to have a river licence to moor a pleasure craft on it. So £87.69 for that. So the total, maintaining, mooring and purchasing the boat in its second year, was £3,921.42, slightly more than the year before, which I think that extra cost came from a little bit extra spent on maintenance. The costs are rising in 2023. I bought a yacht cradle made in Denmark, second hand, from a marina in Pwllheli, Wales. That cost me £400. I needed to get the boat out over this winter to do maintenance. It's been in the water for maybe 5 years, so I needed to have a good look at the under the water line, under the hull, and scrape all the anti-foul off and repaint. So that was a little bit of an expenditure. Then I lost a video camera. It fell off the deck and broke, so I've had to buy a replacement camera. That's cost me £520. Insurance slightly less by a few pennies, £105.67 for 12 months. Maintenance, that's gone up, partly because I bought an AIS receiver, and so that's come to £1,177.71 in 2023. Mooring fees, £955.99. Now the swinging mooring was £580, but I went on a trip down the south coast, and so the extra is the marina mooring fees that I've incurred. £40 to get the boat hauled out, which is cheaper than the quotes I was getting around the Solent of around 250 quid. Fuel, I spent 613. Coastal sailing, so I've used more fuel having to motor in light winds. Plus fuel costs have gone up considerably in 2023. £53.50 on tolls. Clothing, 30 quid. I ran out of fresh clothes in Eastbourne and had to pop round and buy some more from Next. Membership £190 of the sailing club. Same repayment for the bank loan I took out to purchase the boat as the previous 2 years, £1,436.52. And I spent a little bit of money which comes under maintenance, servicing the outboard, replace the fuel filters, the oil in the drive leg, and fuel pump, and one or two other things on it because it was taking too many pulls to start. And in the end it turned out to be a slight blockage in the main jet, so I just ran a bit of copper wire down it. Could have saved myself some money and just done that and it would have been fine. So away it goes. And then Peel Ports, the conservancy license again, which is for, I guess, the maintenance of the buoyage system up the channels. I've seen them moving them when the channels move due to silting and various other maintenance things that they get up to. Other than that, I can't see what sort of conservancy work they do at all. So the total for 2023 is £5,275.19. That gives us a total for the 3 years ownership and purchase of the boat. I've got 2 more payments left to make on the bank loan. So 3 years in total comes to £14,680.03. Take an average, a yearly average, the boat cost me £4,893.34. Those are the yearly costs. I don't know, you tell me, what does it cost you? Leave a note in the comments. I guess, you know, I could have bought another second-hand car for that, replace the old car that I've got, or I would have just spent the money on something else at some point. But I can't really put a price on this because it's really challenging, enjoyable, and just puts a big smile on my face as soon as I get in the dinghy and head on out there to the boat. I don't think you can put a price on it. The enjoyment that I've had over the last 3 years from owning this boat and learning how to sail in it and starting to do coastal sailing and sailing solo back from Brighton to the marina on the Medway. It's just been so enjoyable, and the boat's getting improved every year slowly because I've got limited income from pensions, and so I can't just throw as much money I would like to at the boat and get what I want to do to it done quickly. I have to do it slowly because I can only afford to spend a certain amount of money each year on improving the boat. So I hope this has been useful. If you are thinking of going sailing and you're interested in knowing how much it costs, this I think is as cheap as you could get it. If you can do this cheaper, let me know in the comments. You can certainly do it a lot more expensive with marina fees, maybe £3,500 a year, plus your boat maintenance on top, your insurance, fuel, and all the other costs. I think, you know, £4,893 per year, that includes buying the boat. So I'll have a saving in 2 months' time because I won't be paying the loan back. I'll have paid it off. So that will come down a little bit. Well, it'll come down quite a lot by £1,200 a year. Bring it down to about £3,600 a year in running costs. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and the next video I think is going to be some time lapses of the boat maintenance while it's out on the hard, and then relaunch for this coming season of 2024. See you next time.